symmetrical triangle like I like. Um,
Yes, we do.
everybody who's new here, I hate symmetrical triangles. Like I hate them.
Oh well,
What do you
let
think?
me go very quick over what I'm seeing. Like not to take too much of your time because I know you had a very good day, Freddy. I haven't yet started, so before I start getting the FOMO, because guys, I see a couple of you guys are new. This guy next to me, Alex, is just an amazing scalper. I do my best on swing trading, but every single day he's like, "Are you low? Are you short? You're missing out, man. It's already too late. Are you jumping in or what?" Right? And I just, dude, I don't know what to do. Right? And so it's get fun. All right. So this is Link. Let's go to Bitcoin really quickly. There we go. Bitcoin, looking like we have an
let's
uprising. What is it?
let's see your beautiful symmetrical triangle.
Oh man, we'll see it in a bit. But at this point, we do have an uprising either wedge or channel, right? So usually when we have this pole and then a rising wedge or rising channel, usually that it is an indication that we're gonna be breaking down. If you go over the late classes on Piper Academy, you see me talked about yesterday about the rising channels, right? So not because they usually break to the downside, it's just a definition of what's going to happen, but we just need to put that information in the back of our head and start looking how the volume is reacting, right? Where is that? How is that channel playing out? Nonetheless, we are above the zero lining here. We are green. We are not in reversal zones, right? But we are about to break. Look at your consolidation score. Consolidation score, it is 8 out of 10. 10, most likely you're never going to be seeing 10, all right? And if you see it, just remember that that is a unicorn number. Basically, whenever you see it, take action, prepare, embrace yourself because we're going to be bursting, all right? Another thing that the consolidation score tells you, it is that, yes, of course, 8 out of 10, we are highly consolidating, of course, right? But also it's telling you, hey, we are about to break that consolidation because after 8, only 9 and 10, and after 10, 0, right? So bursting to the upside, I mean, it can burst 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? But looking at a 10, and not to the upside, just bursting. I did not mention direction because it doesn't give you direction. The direction is given on your volume on your oscillator. All right, just so you know. So another important thing now that you're asking, it is ranges are usually 50% breaking. All right, so there is no way to know where they're going to be breaking out. Today I'm going to be teaching you something that I do use to predict where the breakout is going to happen, but bear with me in here. All right, so going upwards in here, usually that creates a pole, right? And then we create a flag like in here. You already see my arrows, right? I expect it to break to the downside. But still, look at the support that we have, these two red lines. Those red lines, I manually place them all the way till somewhere around these areas. I don't quite remember. Somewhere around here, I start placing them. And they've been acting very nicely as support and also as resistance, right? This is the first time we engage them. Hopefully, we can break them. But if we have a pullback, well, then we need to look at our supports. The first area of support, 91,895. And then the next area of support, look at that, this red box in here. And that is because on the daily, and let me just zoom out a little bit. There we go. On the daily, we have dynamic reactor coming in strong on that area, right? So flipping back down wouldn't be such a bad idea. Just be prepared for that, right? Also, something that is interesting, look at the pole that is happening here, right? And then look at how this lines kind of look at it matches the same pattern in here, right? Smaller to my right, or bigger to my left, right? And look at how it did. We broke to the downside. We went for our initial support, bounce out of the lower part of that trend line, and then visit a lower low, right? So the same thing I could be expecting here. Breaking down, bouncing up, and then we need to make another analysis here. right? We could be going to visit dynamic reactor, not only because it's dynamic reactor, also because we have some confluence in that zone. Let me just clear this up, and you'll see that right here, we don't only have a soft order block that is starting to grow, we also have a predictive range, dynamic reactor coming in strong, and another predictive range. So my area of bounds would be in here, especially now, since we got, now let me turn out all of my indicators here, since we got, and let's hide it, the base or the support right here of a broadening wedge. All right. So that's what I got so far. I'm looking for a possible retracement, especially in the 15 minutes. What I'm looking at here, this is a ginormous triangle. I think this is the one that Alex L. Crypto was talking about. Symmetrical, beautiful, ginormous Tyrannosaurus, Trianglesaurus right here. And remember that the terrible, he says, I love it, man. All right, let me just show you guys the gold in the triangles, because a symmetrical triangle, it is 50-50. So what the hell, right? I mean, if it's 50-50, what do I even chart it? Because you have support and resistances. Another important thing is cloning those lines and going for a more crowded zone. Like, for example, we hit here, 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 here. The same thing we do in the lower. We clone it, and then we go for a more crowded zone, like in here, right? This gives us a threshold. Those thresholds are going to be either entry or exit thresholds, right? So as you can see, we are about to break. We are flipping around, so most likely we could be breaking to the downside. The way that I use to predict movement or breakouts is that I measured really quick, and this is to answer your question, Sensen Supernova. I look at where it started. Usually on this kind of triangles, I go for the base, all right? And then, let me just get rid of everything in here. It's just getting in the way. And I think this is it, all right? And then I start measuring where the momentum, because this is what this line on your oscillator tells you it is, right? Momentum. I like the momentum to be a little bit thicker, so I like mine a little bit chunkier, right? There we go. And then I measure how long, not how tall, how long we stayed above and how long we stayed below, right? So you could maybe be having a range. That range is 50-50, but if you start looking at the volume, well then till this point, which things can shift, you now march this together, right? And one more second. Oh, looks like we're winning to the upside for a slightly bit, which gives me a higher opportunity to break to the upside, to burst to the upside, all right? This can change. If we do more like that, we're going to be adding more boxes to the downside. So you need to take a look at how that works. Another important thing is that we're getting at the end of the triangle. Let me introduce you to another concept here, which is pattern morphology, all right? If you read books, you're not going to find it as pattern morphology. It is just basically waiting for the pattern to break out its neckline to know which pattern is it, right? And then it goes on explaining how one pattern can transform into another one. I just nicknamed it pattern morphology. Why? Because when we talk about morphology or evolution, you know that you could be looking at something and then that transform to some other thing. That is just a name, a nickname that I gave it for you to realize that not because right now this is a symmetrical triangle, we could not be doing then something like this, and then we all said, oh, well, that was a wedge, right? That wasn't actually a wedge, right? It wasn't a symmetrical triangle, right? So just to keep an eye that this could happen, all right? And talking about that morphology, we could be having right now a double top, all right, a breakout retest, right? And that will create an actual wedge. All right. So it will be both. I mean, you will if you analyze it as a symmetrical triangle, you'll be correct. And then if you're looking for a possible future morphology transformation into a wedge, you would also be correct. At this point, that the symmetrical triangle, it is the most accurate so far. All right. But we should not be taking our eye off the ball and the possibility that this transform to something else. This is important because this is how you plan for your next possible entry. All right. What's going to be my next possible entry? Maybe in the 15 minutes, I'm going to be waiting for a breakout retest. So if I lose this support, I'm shorting it to dynamic reactor. And then, where's my dynamic? Oh, my dynamic reactor is all the way there. Maybe that's going to be 1 hour or 30 minutes. What was it? 1 hour dynamic reactor, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, that was the base of the range. All right. No, that's much better. There we go. All right, base of the range. Sorry, my bad. To the base of the range, and then longing it here. And remember, if we just look out, if we look at the bigger pattern, we are in a range. So, seeing our calculation that the thing could be breaking to the upside might be making some sense, because if we buy low and we sell high, we should be right now into a winning strike. All right. But this is hard to catch because, I mean, it had to pass all of the, look at those scam weeks, right? So that's what I got, Alex. Hopefully that had made some sense, or we can coexist with something in there. Let me know how your trading day went, because I'm so excited to see how you played out this morning.
Yeah, man, it wasn't easy. I like your I mean 50-50. I always give it a little bit more favor to the upside. Like you were saying, regression trend line. You want to know something cool, OC? A
Yeah.
cool trick. When you draw a trend line, right? You see how I have it selected? Control Shift duplicates the trend line.
Man, that's new for me. Thank you for the tip. Control Shift duplicates. Man, that's cool.
So you have to select it, Control Shift, and then you get the same one. Look. Oh.
Nice. Look at that.
Oh, good fun. Anyways, just for your outer trend line stuff. So uh to infinity and beyond, yes. Uh just like OC, yeah. So we're in this ascending, I would call this an ascending channel right now. So you take your regression tool trend, which is just over here. It's a free tool, and it makes it so like a dumb guy like me can use it. You pick the low, you drag it, and you press the button. Ta-da! That's nice and easy for me, man. I like simple things, man. Same with this. If you go from the high here, you drag it, it'll give you the range. Okay, very easy tool to use, and it's very effective, especially like even on your daily. If you go from like your top down here, right, you would have had like a nice channel. Like let's say you were still trading down here, you would have a nice descending channel through here, right? And obviously as price materializes, it gets bigger. Okay, and you can pull this all the way from the low over here. You got that. Okay, so it's very useful just to kind of isolate price, which is good. So the trading day. Oh boy, we're rolling over right now. SFP of the high. Okay, I did not take the short right now. I'm unfit to trade. I'm tired, so I'm not trading. But that doesn't mean we couldn't show up today and trade with everybody on the live stream. So we were able. So let's look here. We were able to long VWAP this morning. So little trade here. And the reason why I took this, right? So it's always important to understand context, right? Why are we taking this little long trade here? So yesterday and I really didn't like yesterday, but yesterday we continued to bounce off of uh we bounced here and we put in an uptrend here. Okay, so you can see that we've clearly changed structure to push up after that. Okay, so this is giving me the favor to look for retest continuation in general. Okay, in general. So wanting to trade with trend. Another thing too is like I always OC hears me talk about this. I really like a cheap trade. Okay, so when normally I put like a 0.3% of a stop loss. Okay, that's typically what I trade. So you can see here if I go on my templates, I typically trade something like this. This is what I'm looking for every single day. I'm looking to trade this. Now, because the entry here is half the position size here, this is really cheap for me. I know if we come below this low here, I'm wrong, which is cool because like I want to be, I mean, who doesn't want to have a cheap trade, right? You know when you're wrong quick, it's better than to drag it out, right? Also with this trade here, so we're looking for the continuation, meaning we've held this low here. So we are looking for the continuation out. We have changed character to the upside here. So we are looking for the continuation out. Okay, same kind of deal here. So that's the thought process behind it, okay? Coming into VWAP for a little bit of slappage here. We slap in, we get long. Now, whenever you're in a trade, I highly suggest you counter trade yourself, okay? So when we pushed up this morning, okay? And then we started to break down. What is it? A short trade that I typically take? A retest of previous lows and continuation down. So this is 100% going to be my first take profit. Okay. So what happened is we bounced. Okay. We hit my first take profit. I put stop loss to entry and we got knocked out of that trade. Okay. Quick, like $50. Whatever. Manage risk, taking a little bit out of the market, especially in the environment that we're in right now. Like, guys, look, we started the day here. We went up here. We come down here. We're right back to where we friggin' started. And look at this shit in here. Okay, that's even worse. So it wasn't easy. And then we knew we had news at 10 a.m. Okay, so we were up one here, and then coming back into here, this was a golden pocket bounce that we had this morning. So if we look swing low to swing high, okay, we had a golden pocket bounce. For me, it happened really quickly. I did not take this trade, okay? It wasn't, for me, I would have liked to see constructive price action. I would have seen a nice double bottom in here or something. Didn't get it. Just really V-shaped recovery, push back up, scammy, right? So I don't touch that, right? However, since we had pushed back up and taken some highs in here, I now have flipped bullish because we have mitigated this downtrend, okay? So we've reversed in some sort of sense, okay? Yes, this is very short-term time frames, but nonetheless, our low is still intact, so we could be looking for this uptrend, which would be more of like a 15-minute uptrend versus this little 3-minute downtrend, okay? So it's very important to understand where we are. When we zoom in on price action, right, you can see how we swapped in here, right? But when we zoom out on 15-minute, we're still bullish in this. I would say we change character here. And this is just a higher low continuation. Yes. Okay. They say it's right here. Okay. To me, this would be a mitigation down here. So make sure that you do have rules when you're making market structure. Okay. But nonetheless, we have flipped bullishly here. So we can be looking for this. Hopefully you guys are still with me. So in the 3-minute time frame, I'm looking for an SFP. I'm looking for a sweep of the lows and a bounce. Now, we got the long perfectly in here. We made $100 on the way up here. But it was the fact that we rolled over on the news. We stalled for a little bit. Okay, it was a little bit of a waiting time. Then it pushed back up and it closed, and then I got long here. Stop loss below the low here, looking to take it to the highs. quick $100 there, and that's it. That's my trading day, right? So, in an environment such as this, you need to, in my opinion, pay yourself quickly, and also you got to be patient. It's not the same as it was last week. What I was talking about from before, and we can talk about Tesla. I think I saw a couple of you guys talk about Tesla. Is that the volatility index, right? Very crazy choppy, right? Still crazy choppy, cooling off a little bit now, right? So the sporadic crazy price action is not as violent anymore. That's what this is telling us, okay? I have alerts here. So when we're trading in this range, this is, to me, this is normal, right? This is slow as hell. Bear market slow, right? This is rapido, super fast, right? This is holy shit, right? So be prepared that we are cooling down. Therefore, in comparison to last week or the week before, right, all the way to the beginning of April, it's going to take longer for our trades to play out. Okay? It's going to take longer for trades to get into our buy or sell zones when we're trying to take trades. Okay? So when we are in this, we set the trap, we prepare, and we wait. We wait. And we wait a little bit longer because last week we weren't waiting so long. Last week this thing's coming to us, and then it's going to here, and then it's going to here, and then, and it's like, holy shit, man. And there's a million trades, and you overtrade. Now we're still over trading, but the price isn't moving. So we need to adjust. This is very important. It's called environment, right? It's the environment of the market. Recently, right, we go through many different environments, and we can point out different environments, okay, where this is chopped sideways, right? Wrecking bulls, wrecking bears, right? This here is super trending, very euphoric, right? Then we have this section over here. I remember when we dumped down right in here, right when we dumped down here, this was called round trip central, baby. Whoa, 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 right? There was no swing trading. Ask OC. He probably hated it. I loved it because for a scalper, this was heaven, right? But for swing trading, we're going up. Oh no. Oh, we're going up. Oh no. Oh, we're going. And it's so environment is so important, right? In here, we're euphoric, up only. Everybody, we only knew how to press buy, right? Buy, buy, buy. We only knew how to press buy. Donald Trump coin comes out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, right? So you got to be able to really understand price action and where it is, right? Especially like when we get into something like we had before here, where we were range bound for so long. Okay, this was a long time. Okay, this was 7 months. Okay, but within this, we had different euphoric zones, right? And here we're like, oh my God, we're going to 100,000, right? And then we break down. Then in here we're like, oh man, we're going to 100,000. We break down again. Then over here we're going to 100, and then carry trade. Oh my God, we're going to 0. Okay. So understanding the conditions is going to be so important. The volatility, all those kind of things, and having that understanding. What is the narrative right now? Okay, we have decreasing volatility. We have everybody posting open mouth thumbnails, even OC. Okay. And we are doing the Bart Simpson right now. Okay, we are doing the Bart Simpson. Okay, so you heard it here first. But in my opinion, if I was to make a call, and what I think would happen right now is that we would SFP into our golden pocket retracement level on the macro right now. Boo, boo, boo. Boo. Back down to revisit our previous highs, which would be, yeah, baby, our 382, which would be an aggressive bounce to Valhalla, only then to break everyone's hearts.
And that looks like a balloon dog.
This is going to be such a beautiful balloon dog, bro. You'll see. It's going to be the sexiest little schnauzer you've ever laid your eyes on. It's going to be a Doberman. It's beautiful.
Oh, nice. I do already know a Doberman. Those are beautiful.
So now, where are we at? So for me, there's no trade really. Right now, we're chopping about. We had earnings. Okay, earnings reports can be very annoying because it's not bullish or bearish. It's just choppy, in my opinion. Okay, if you don't know what earnings are, it's the companies. Like today we had Amazon in the morning. Here's this week. Okay, so I shared it with you guys over there in the chat. But you have, today, you have Amazon, you have, is this April 28th? Yeah. Amazon, Apple. Okay, you're gonna have all these things coming out this week that are, Meta tomorrow, Pfizer today, Visa. It's just, this is why, in my opinion, this is why crypto like Bitcoin has done better, because Bitcoin doesn't have an earnings report. Bitcoin is just Bitcoin, right? So it's not victim to all this, really is victim of the economy of people investing or not, right? And how well the company is doing. So it's very important to stay level-headed here. Now, looking at this, like I said, that area above us, okay, that's our golden pocket here above us. 96,300 to 97,500. That would be our 618 and our 0.65. And then we have a sweep of the highs. We have the lows in here, and we are range bound, right? So whenever we're talking range bound, we can turn on our predictive ranges, and we can see that here right now. Buy low, sell high, very much in play, right? It's just a matter of, are you willing to put up with some waiting and some chop? Because if we look at yesterday for an example, right? We rugged down, okay, beautiful rug down, and double bottom bounce, but this took a lot of time. Okay, so be patient, right? You have the dreaded symmetrical shit triangle here. The way I always look at triangles whenever I see them is, you're always waiting to complete 70% of the triangle, okay? So cha wa 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 wa. Now you're waiting for a decision. Your job is to not get faked out, okay? Your job, maybe you open a long and a short in the middle and you say good luck. No, you're typically gonna have a breakout retest, but you must have confirmation that it's going to continue. Okay? Wait for that change in character. Because if you don't, I promise you, because this is why I hate them. It will go like this. It'll go out and it will go bye, and you will cry like I do. Okay? So be well aware that this here is doing its thing. It's getting there, but do not be a victim of this. Okay? Please. That's why we use good risk management. I would favor this to break out, however you draw this stupid thing, to that golden pocket, reject, big old SFP, 3 drives of bearish divergence, and then drop it on everyone's head. Because we're not going to 100,000 yet. That's what I'm looking at. What do you think, OC?
Oh man, I think you're spot on. At this point, as you mentioned, earning reports annoying, and I did not talk about this, and I think you're spot on. Like, Bitcoin is Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is like an index, right? It doesn't care about anything else, although it does react to the overall market. So earning reports are just numbers and how things are doing. So did Jeff Bezos was a prick? Well, then, if he was, we're not going to be doing well on those earning reports, right? Well, if he was, well, not really. I mean, I don't also want to just fall into that misinformation. But if he did not manage his company well, right, or if the company by itself had a breach of trust, that will also impact on their earnings report, which again will impact on the S&P, which again is going to impact on all so on and so forth, so on and so forth, right? Just different tools, different methods. But at the end of it all, I think crypto is something special. It's another breed of trading, more like going back to the golden standard. And yeah, that's what that's what I think. I think you're spot on that. Let me bring up a couple of altcoins in here because I think they're gonna be good for I mean, after the shakeout of tomorrow, we should be looking at maybe positioning ourselves. All right, something important that I want to talk about. Tomorrow we have those earning reports, right? Not only that, we have a little bit more data pushing out. How to say this? Just straightforward. In the fiat or the structure that we have at this point in the economy, we need a recession. That's it. We need for people to file bankruptcy so that debt gets written off, right? We just have so much debt at this point that it's piling up, piling up, piling up, and piling up, right? So I do expect a recession. Be careful out there. Do not put all of your eggs in the same basket. And if you're putting any eggs in a basket, remember that usually a recession, how we have been handled it since 2 years ago. Remember, every December, we were talking about soft landing. I do remember December 2023, soft landing. December 2024, soft landing, right? December 2025, I don't know. Maybe. Are we going to be talking about soft landing? Maybe. But just bear in mind that you're going to have that money trapped in there for a little while, as long as that company, if you're investing in the traditional market, does not collapses. So do your research, see where the strongest investments are, and seek for the risk. All right. Having said that, all right, let's take a look at some altcoins at this point. And I don't want to be the bear today, guys, but I also don't want you guys to get hurt in either, right? I mean, at least somebody told you so. So let me get started here just for my watching list. Let's go to the 4 hours. Litecoin, it is moving as we were expecting, up and down all around. And as soon as you can see right here, we are having our dynamic reactor coming in strong. Let me just clean this up. All right, why not? Let's just get rid of everything. We have a broadening wedge in here, or like that. There we go. And it wouldn't be that strange to go visit dynamic reactor. We are now below the zero line. We are losing it at this point. And the last stand at this point, I will be calling for right here for the dynamic reactor. So if in dynamic reactor we don't bounce, I think we're gonna break. And if we break, where is our next support? Our previous weekly low. And at that point, it's not about the breakout. It's about your retest, and then off we go. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think we're going to hold this area, but anything can happen at this point. That depends on tomorrow's numbers. All right, let's go to BNB. We have a triangle here. Yesterday, we had a fake out. Look at that. And I was looking for half of an entry. We're at somewhere around these areas, right here. All right, but we are not there yet. We just had a fake out. Let's just renew our triangle like this. All right, let's just leave it as is, and then basically just waiting to see if we bounce or break out of that dynamic reactor. Dynamic reactor not looking that strong on Binance, so be careful. Atom, basically we fall already. So remember that we talked about up ranging channels. Usually they break to a downside. Break to a downside. Look at that absorption zone. Here we go. It's not about your breakout. It's about your retest. Well, we did not break out anything, to be honest. But retest, and then off we go. We're fighting to get above the zero line. When we get above the zero line, if we get above the zero line, that's going to be my go factor for breakout retest. And off we go. And maybe, and most likely, and guys, here's where things get interesting. Remember the pattern morphology? What are we drawing at this point for what we're seeing? Let me just clear this up. A possible inverted, right, neckline. Sorry, head and shoulders with its neckline somewhere around there. So remember, it's not about the breakout. We have the retest here. Then I want to have a further movement, go back in here, and then off we go. So we need to see if that forms. If that forms, we already have the heads up on what could be forming. Again, at this point, we are not there yet, but we are trying to forecast that analysis. And so far, we have a possible trend line here, also not confirmed because we don't have a sharp change of direction on our oscillator. Still, whatever happens, it seems like we are between the hard rock in a hard place right here with this section. So be careful, we're having a triangle, and remember the goal, it is on its boundaries. So as soon as we break, look for the retest, and off we go. All right. And finally, XRP looking good, to be honest. I mean, I do expect a retracement on XRP, but we do have a bullish pennant or a symmetrical triangle, a huge symmetrical triangle in the lower time frames, right? Like right here. But so far in the 4-hour time frame, this is a small pennant. Not looking that bad. Regardless, whatever it breaks, I think we have enough space to break down and recuperate our strength to the zero line, so we can do something like that. And that will also be in line to what we're seeing, right? Going back to a support trend line. So let's bring up our indicators in here. Let's see what else we got. Some, look at that, a support in here, another support right there. So maybe we could be going, oh no, that one like this, with a little bit of a fake out in here. We need to be careful about this. And if we start breaking this trend line to the upside, it's not about the breakout, it's about your retest on your previous weekly low, and then off you go for your next target. So actually, this one is looking juicy. Let me just add right here an alert at 2:35. So when it hits alert, it's not an entry. It's just, hey, buddy, we're moving up. Look for the retracement for your entry, and then longed it. Right? I recently sold my XRP, but not all. Nice, nice. All right. So maybe you can trade with that or whatever you like, but that's awesome. Also, guys, remember, always have some exposure, right? So you can sell most of it, but I do advise you have a little bit of exposure just in case the thing keeps moving to the upside. So other than that, that's what I got so far. Alex, do you have anything else that you want to share, or are you ready to go for a nap?
I gotta keep working. It never ends,
yeah, you
man.
have you have an station. You're right. Oh,
It's non-stop. It's good. It's for altcoins right now, it's like XRP is one of the better charts for sure. If we're looking at, what's I'm still looking for Sui to come. I'm thinking about selling my Sui too right now. Like I'm up like 2x on it right now. So I'm up quite a nice chunk. I might take some off, but I want it to go higher, man. You know? I mean,
yeah.
I bought here. I'm up, yeah, 125. I'll sell if we get up into here. This big ass order block. I'll sell probably 80% of my bag. 450. That'll be a nice but right now on Sui, I'm looking for a retest 320. 320. Got 3 levels down here, okay? 3 levels, 320, $3, and 280. Those are where I'm looking. Injective, also looking for this big ass order block here. Psychological level, $9, okay? Looking for that. Link, looking for Link to come back down to this point of control around 1420. We almost got it. We almost got it, man. So close. So close. Just a little bit. So looking at that to hold or bounce from. Just be aware though, guys, like because we've pushed up so aggressively here, right? That we're typically looking to revisit order blocks or previous highs. So if this is lost, it could be very quick and down. Be aware of that, right? Jasmy as well needs to flip 17, needs to flip this area right here to support. Okay, big resistance for Jasmy. And what do we have going on right here on Jasmy? That would be a head and shoulders pattern. So I'd be very aware that, downtrend, head and shoulders, right? So cautious. I advise caution right now, right? Earnings right now. I was like, maybe I look for long. I was even looking just now, and I'm like, man, this thing is this is shit. Like VWAP, reholding VWAP, continuation up possible right now. I don't like it. I don't like it. If you feel as though you're forcing the trade, which is the price action right now, you shouldn't take the trade. Okay. So I just recommend patience in this environment. Maybe do some back testing, use your indicators, go through, see how you can implement them to help you understand, price action a little bit better. And that's always going to help you become a better trader. The quantum reactor has actually been very good for a breakout retest lately. So on the 3-minute, was it the 3-minute yesterday I was using it?
I think so.
See here. The 3-minute quantum reactor. Yeah, breakout retest continuation. Yeah, so I like that on the quantum here. I think I have it on slow though. Yeah, I have it on slow. Okay, quantum reactor, 3-minute. It's been doing a good job holding the trends and stuff recently. A little bit of a battle right now, but you can see here, it's caught some nice bottoms. Okay, so have a play with what your tools. There's always something to add to your trading repertoire, right? You're going to be able to add different things. Now the key is developing a relationship with these indicators, right? So you want to be able to trust them because you are risking your money, okay? Let's be real. You're risking your money, so you're trusting a little squiggly thing on the chart. Back testing will allow you to have confidence in trusting it, right? And then you take some trades, you make some money, it becomes part of your skill set, okay? So I highly suggest you always back test. It's always going to help you become better and more profitable. And who doesn't want to make more money? I do. So that's what I suggest. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to go and teach, and then I'm going to nap again.
Nice. All right, so let's call out the class today. So you have 5 more minutes to enjoy your coffee, my friend. Guys, thank you so much for joining today's class. Hopefully you guys are having a cur in the market, so be careful in the market out there. Enjoy your morning, and as always, thank you guys. All right, see you guys tomorrow.
Later.
Later.